Our world is no longer in good health. It is suffering. Ever-increasing levels of air, water and plastic pollution are creating a menacing chokehold around our quality of life. We are drowning in a sea of waste. Many of us think that there is little we can do to change it. Is that so? As a company, Corsair's mission is to build and develop effective solutions to these threats. Corsair helps the environment by removing plastic waste and then recycling it, by reducing the number of poisonous particles in the air that you breathe daily, and by cleaning our rivers and oceans from toxic pollution. In addition, Corsair aims to reverse climate change and reduce global poverty, helping those in need. Funded by both private investors and a network of environmentally conscious entrepreneurs called Amplivo, Corsair is here to help save our world. We are asking you to join us and clean our planet from the pollution that is killing it. We are asking you to join the fight so that together we can leave a safer and healthier world to our children and future generations. When we work together, we can make a difference. By being part of the Amplivo network and helping others, you also can earn an income, create wealth, and move towards financial freedom. Interested to know more? We thought so. Let us connect. Corsair, for a cleaner future.
Right, without further ado, let's pass on. Good evening, Jay. You're an hour ahead again now, seeing as we've gone back. How are we today?
Great, thank you very much, Roger. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. And thank you all of you for joining us on this Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, depending wherever you are in the world. And as you have learned, these Sunday calls, we're doing these always a little bit more, how would I say, not so strict in organizing. We wanted this to be a more of an interactive thing where we can talk, we can share ideas, we can share updates, and most importantly, we can learn about our business more and about the direction where we as a company and as a community are moving. So I will be today sharing with you guys a few updates, a new, very important and interesting steps of development that we've taken recently. And then most importantly, to bringing together what we have discussed over the last few weeks and what is the direction where we are going next. And then finally, what can we expect to be happening in the next coming months as we are moving forward with our strategy. So there will be a lot of information shared today. So let's get started right away. So what I wanted to discuss with you first is about summarizing some of the information that we've presented in the last few weeks, and to really pinpoint the key elements involving the so-called plastic waste revolution. Just that we all have the clear picture and a clear picture of what is really happening in the world in this field right now. And as we've discussed, the big companies around the world, the big brands, are now starting to realize that they must be taking responsibility of their own plastic waste. We've all seen the conversations and the government regulations that has been built around the carbon credit and the carbon emissions. But now we're seeing more and more discussions and focus being built around the plastic waste problem and how companies who generate these massive amounts of plastic waste every year are by governments forced finally to start taking responsibility of the mess that they are creating. And the companies do realize that this is what's happening, and that's why we have major brands like Unilever who are simply publicly making the statement where they are saying that their target is by 2025 to be able to collect and process more plastic from the environment than what they are actually contributing and distributing into it. This is the first time in history that we are seeing this happening, that these major brands that have been producing all of this plastic waste for the last decades are now, for the first time ever, starting to take responsibility of this mess that they have created. And Unilever, as a one example, and this is from their public global website, Unilever produces approximately 700 million kilos of plastic waste per year. 700 million kilos. And their target right now is to be able to recover from the environment more than that. Well, how are they going to do this? What are the ways that they can do to actually make this mission and their target to happen? Is simply to work with companies like Corsair, who can actually go out there into the environment, collect the plastic from there, and then make sure that that plastic gets properly recycled. Another example is a company called Nestle, who in the very same way has made the exact same statement, but instead of producing 700 million kilos of plastic waste like Unilever, Nestle actually produces about 1.3 billion kilos of plastic waste each year. But in the same way, they are also in this process globally to be able to collect more plastic from the environment than what they generate every year. These are two examples of major international brands who are in the top 10 corporate plastic polluters globally. And I'm sure we all recognize these brands. We know who they are. We probably use many of their products every day. But this means that the plastic waste is now finally becoming a topic on the corporate level, where the companies realize that they have no choice but to publicly show for the communities and for their consumers that they are willing to take responsibility from their own plastic mess. Nobody's expecting them to clean the entire world, but they are expected to take responsibility of their own waste. And that is what is happening right now. Now, I'm very happy to tell you guys today, without announcing and ruining the surprise for you, which we are hoping to be able to release for you shortly. But what we can say for you today is that we are officially currently in negotiations with some of the largest brands in the world about major collaborations, helping these brands to do exactly what I just mentioned. Help these brands to go out there, collect the plastic from the environment, and then helping these companies to reduce their plastic waste footprint. Okay, so we can make that announcement today officially, and you are going to see specific announcements coming on this field soon as these negotiations are being finalized. As the ultimate step where we want to see these negotiations to lead to is that we are starting to see companies and brands using the CSR label in the product packaging. And this is exactly what these companies and brands want. They want to be able to say for their consumers, say for the market, that this product that you're buying, this shampoo bottle, this drink bottle, this bag of washing powder, whatever it is that you're buying, has officially made certified plastic neutral by CSR. And our target, as you can see here in the picture, is that when you go to the supermarket, you will be able to start seeing the CSR label printed into the product packaging. And that will be such a gratifying moment, I can tell you that, when we start to see the CSR printed in these major products. And it's going to happen, guys. That's the great thing. Now, moving forward from that, we're also seeing another kind of revolution, and that is happening in the actual production of these plastic products, in the manufacturing side. And as we've said before, for example, the European Union earlier this year issued, for the first time ever, they issued an actual law where the plastic manufacturing companies, who are greatly, obviously, of course, should be responsible for this plastic pollution that is out there, have never before been made responsible. So for the first time in history, European Union issued a law where the plastic manufacturing companies are now, from the beginning of this year, being made to take responsibility of this plastic pollution that they are creating. And the way that this happens is that they are required to use a minimum of 30% recycled plastic waste raw material when they manufacture new plastic products. And the easiest way for them to receive this 30%, in some cases even 60% of this raw material, is to buy the raw material from chemical recycling companies such as Corsair. Now, we have to understand that the chemical recycling industry that we are involved with is still a very, very young industry. It's a very small industry. This specific industry has been expected and estimated to grow into tens of billions of dollars per year in the next coming years. Tens of billions of dollars. But as of today, we are still looking at a market with maybe a few tens of millions per year. And it's not always that easy to provide and to manufacture oil from plastic waste, which is suitable for plastic manufacture. Traditionally, the chemical recycling industry was targeting for fuel buyers to be the main customers of the oil. And as you remember, also when we got started last year, our target primarily was to sell the oil to the fuel industry, to use our plastic oil, the Corsair oil, as a raw material to make fuels for the traffic, more environmentally friendlier fuels, such as gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. But since the regulations have been changing, the plastic manufacturing companies have become our main target. And This means that we as a company hope that our oil would be used for the manufacturing of new plastic products instead of to be used as a fuel. But in order for your oil to pass a very specific and very detailed qualification standard, not all the plastic oils in the world can be used as a raw material to make new plastic products. It's not that easy. The oil has to be certain standard, it has to have certain qualifications and certain elements in it so that it can actually be used as a raw material for plastic manufacturing. From the financial point of view, selling the oil to fuel manufacturers is already a good business. We can see the market price to be approximately 50 euro cents per liter. But selling the same oil to plastic manufacturing companies means that the price for the oil that we sell, the same liter, can be as high as 70, 80, 90 cents a liter, even €1 per liter. And this means that the profitability of the operations is pushed into a whole new level. But it is crucially important that the oil can fulfill those qualifications and be able to be used as a raw material for plastic manufacturing. And I am very happy to tell you today that since a few days ago, we have now officially received the proof that Corsair oil is suitable raw material for plastic manufacturing. And this was verified for us by one of the largest plastic manufacturing companies in the world. So it was not something that we studied ourselves, but instead, this verification came from one of the largest plastic manufacturing companies in the world. Now, why would one of the largest plastic manufacturing companies in the world do such study? Well, for the reason that they are interested of buying our oil. And we are now moving forward with a final stage of negotiations. And our target is that in the next coming, let's say within the end of this year, we are looking forward to be able to announce a larger collaboration in this area. And the first step of this is, of course, that our oil has been tested and it has passed the qualification standards and tests so that we know for a fact that our oil can be used for plastic manufacturing. This is massive, guys. It doesn't necessarily say so much to you, but I can tell you that this is a groundbreaking thing. And like we've said before, our target is that 100% of our oil could be used in the plastic manufacturing over time. Maybe in the beginning, it's starting fractionally, and then eventually it's growing. And we would like to be able to supply all of our oil to the plastic manufacturing. The reason for this one is sometimes people might get a wrong idea saying, why do we need more plastic? Wouldn't it be better to do something else with the oil? Well, let me explain why. The plastic manufacturing industry today are using virgin plastic, virgin oil. They are taking oil from the ground, which is then being refined and processed into plastic products. When we can use oil that is made from old plastic, it means that we don't have to be taking more carbon, more oil from the ground anymore. We have well enough raw material already on the surface of this planet to produce all these new plastics that we need, as long as that recycling process is properly managed, which is starting to happen finally now around the world. We will eventually get to a point where plastic is being recycled from an old plastic bag to oil, and then from oil to new plastic bag. In the same way like glass is being recycled, like metal is being recycled, and like paper is being recycled. And this is now finally going to happen with plastic as well. And through this process, we can now say that Corsair is officially one of the leading chemical recycling company in the world. And we have truly been operational just about 1 year. Our target is to get to the top 3 in the next coming 12 months. Let's see what happens. Now, digital revolution. Obviously, we all know what's happening. We've heard about financial industries, the banking, and many other areas moving into this new digital age, especially involving digital currencies. And when we are looking at what's happening with the carbon credit market, this will show us an indication of where we as a company and where we as a community are moving towards. The carbon emissions market involving the carbon credit, which has been around now for about 20 years. Last year, altogether, was approximately $280 billion. And in the next coming years, it is being estimated that the carbon credit market will grow into tens of trillions of dollars each year. Now, carbon being traded like a commodity means that it is traded in the same way like metal, like gold, like rice, any other type of commodity out there. So when you talk about carbon credits, you're really talking about a commodity. And like the analysts in Barclays Capital are saying, they believe that carbon will become the world's biggest commodity. And it could also become the world's biggest market overall. At the same time as companies around the world are forced to take responsibility of their carbon footprint, they are also now forced to take responsibility of their plastic waste footprint. And we, again, are in the epicenter of all of this development. I personally believe that we are going to see the plastic credit market grow to approximately 10% of what the carbon credit market is within the next 5 to 10 years. That would mean that the plastic credit market globally would grow into somewhere about $30 billion a year in the next 5 to 10 years. It could actually happen much faster because the framework and the foundation has already been laid out. There is already an example. It's already been shown how this thing can be done with the carbon and with the carbon credit. The plastic credit will follow the footsteps, and that's why the development will be so much faster. But we are looking at the plastic credit to be taken into use globally, and this market is going to be increasing in a rapid pace. Right now, today, we are looking at still a very tiny market. But where this is going is just absolutely fabulous. And considering the fact that we all of us here today as a community are in the center of this development. Our timing could not be better than what we have in our hands. It's unbelievable. I've used this example before, not to spend too much of your time with this, but a good example of the value of, for example, carbon credits is how Tesla last year made a net income of $700 million from selling vehicles and about $1.6 billion from selling carbon credits. So it just goes to show that the world is moving to that direction, and the world is definitely ready for the plastic credit. And we have organizations like the World Wildlife Fund who are already pushing this forward. We are not the only one. There are others as well. But we are very different than anyone else at the moment. And I'll explain you guys why. Most importantly, the CSR plastic credit is doing exactly what these main and these big organizations are asking for. The fact that CSR plastic credit is a digital receipt, which proves that plastic waste has been removed from the environment, makes it so powerful. And I do believe that anyone is able to understand the concept of CSR plastic credit with a short introduction of 2 minutes. The simplest way that I could say and explain this is that every single time when Corsair removes a kilo of plastic waste from the environment, we can now issue and distribute 10 CSR plastic credits. Meaning that if you are holding 10 CSR plastic credits, that means that you have helped to remove 1 kilo of plastic waste from the environment. Now, going back into this update, you remember I mentioned about the companies such as Unilever and Nestle, who together are targeting to remove not 1 kilo, but 2 billion kilos of plastic, not one time, but every year from now into the future. 2 billion kilos, just 2 companies. So the CSR plastic credit offers a great and simple, easy tool for these brands to be involved. And obviously, it operates on the blockchain, which provides the most simplest and clearest, transparent and trustworthy way for us to provide this information. And to do all of this in a public database called the blockchain. It's very important that we are openly sharing the information. Now, what we are developing right now is we are developing a publicly accountable data collection system. And we are going to launch this in the next, let's say, coming weeks, where we are going to start to report on a public database that anyone from anywhere in the world can verify and go and take a look at the amount of plastic and the time and the location where the plastic was collected. And then how much of that plastic has been converted from plastic garbage into raw material. And then also when that plastic is being recycled into oil. So that this process can be tracked, it can be verified, it can be audited by third-party auditing companies who will be able to verify that these numbers are accurate. And that provides for all of these different brands and companies who are looking to eliminate their plastic waste footprint, the comfort and the trust towards the CSR system, that they know that when they buy these CSR tokens, every single CSR token is backed up by real physical results of work made to clean up the environment. The second step from this is obviously then to move into the tokenization and how that is made. And I'm also extremely happy to tell you today that we are officially in talks with several international digital currency exchanges to list CSR internationally. Not that you might even want to sell your CSR, but it's very important that the CSR, as soon as possible, can be publicly traded like any other commodity. And the fact that we operate in the digital currency, cryptocurrency space allows the CSR to be listed in our target, every single major digital currency exchange in the world. That is our target. But you are going to start to see development on this field soon as well. Now, the options for anyone to acquire CSR will, number one, of course, be from the open exchanges. And we will definitely see big brands, big companies starting to use this option as well. The other option will always be for companies, small and big, to become what is called the CSR merchant, meaning that any shop, any business, and now we're talking any size, forget the big brands. We're talking about your corner restaurant, coffee shop, hotel, juice bar, whatever it would be, to be also becoming a merchant and accept CSR plastic credits as a payment method. Meaning that you, as a holder of the CSR, can go to these shops and stores and companies, and you can use your CSR to pay for the products and services that they provide. This is also where we are now moving. While we are talking about the big companies and the big brands, it's very important that we also keep in mind the small brands and every one of us as private individuals. Why am I putting so much effort and talk now into these big brands? It's because they build credibility. Whenever we are going to announce that Corsair and CSR plastic credits are now used by these big international brands, it will make your work as an influencer so much more easier and efficient. And that's how you will be able to directly benefit from that. Now, while we are looking at the big brands and saying that those are the bad guys, those are the guys that are manufacturing all this plastic garbage, let's not forget that so are we. Each and every one of us as a private individual is also part of the problem, unless you become part of the solution. You and me and every one of us are part of the problem until we become part of the solution. You as a private individual are producing approximately 5,000 kilos of plastic waste during your lifetime. 5,000 kilos is not a small amount of waste. 5,000 kilos of anything is a lot, okay? 5,000 kilos of plastic waste is a massive, big pile of garbage. And that is what you are contributing into the environment. So if you want to make a change into the world, please start that one by looking into the mirror. That's where it begins. And it is so crucially important that every single one of us as a private individual also takes responsibility. When we go out there and say, hey, these big companies, they need to take responsibility. So do we. And it's not really, I believe in life, it's not right to expect somebody else to do something unless you're doing it as well. The way to lead is in the front lines, not in the back. And we must lead by example. We must be able to show for these brands and for these companies and for everyone else who is looking to join this movement and join this community, that we are not there only to talk about how somebody else should do something. Because that's been the problem all along. People not saying, oh, I'm not the problem, it's those guys. No. We need to show that we take responsibility and then explain, educate, and help others to do the same. And that means that every single person in the community needs to make a commitment, not to anyone else, but to make a commitment for themselves, that I personally will also become plastic neutral. And by becoming an Amplivo influencer, you have such an amazing opportunity to do that while also doing a work that provides you an additional income and provides you the opportunity to grow your fortune and financial independence as well. It's just an amazing concept that we have in our hands right now. So in order for a private person to become plastic neutral, you will need to retire 50,000 CSR plastic credits. And our IT team is now in the final stages of creating a smart contract, which will work as the final location, the final resting place for the CSR plastic credits that are retired from the system. What does it mean? It means that when any company or any private individual buys the CSR plastic credit, in order for you to finally receive the final certification and to be able to say that, hey, I have truly removed this plastic from the environment, you must let go of that plastic credit. That plastic credit must be retired. In the crypto world, it's also called burning. It means that that plastic credit that is retired will never, ever again taken out into the circulation. It cannot. It's gone forever. But it's very carefully documented publicly. Everybody can see who retired that plastic credit, meaning that only and only and only the end user, the private individual or a company, only one end user can retire the CSR plastic credit. Only one. And only that same person or company can then receive the final credit and the recognition that they have actually done that good work for the environment. Until the moment when you retire the CSR plastic credit, you can still sell it, you can move it around, you can sell it on the market, you can buy more, you can use it as a payment method. The CSR is also going to be used as a trading currency for the selling of the Corsair oil. All of these are bringing more and more and more demand for the use of the credit. While at the same time, at the other end, credits are leaving the system. You are going to start to be seeing every day how CSR is being retired. And guys, this is what makes this operation and our concept so amazing and so unique. Number one, every single CSR plastic credit is backed up by real physical results. We are providing a service to some of the largest companies in the world who need this service urgently, while at the same time, every other company in the world needs it. Everyone needs it. Companies, and private individuals. And when you see companies and private individuals buying the credits from the market and retiring the credits from the market, that means that we have more demand for the CSR, while at the same time, the supply of the CSR is shrinking. Yes, there is also, every time when plastic is being removed, there is new CSR coming. But you are going to see a very interesting balancing happening here, where the demand is growing, but at the same time, supplying is going to become very, very, very limited. And due to this, the reality is that there is no limit for the amount of market value that the CSR can grow into. There really is no limit. So my recommendation for you personally would be, number one, that you become plastic neutral yourself, very important. Number two is that you start storing additional CSR. You start holding on to those as much as you can. This is not a financial advice. This is just a recommendation from one friend to another. I hope that in the next 1 or 2 years, you have a nice pot of CSR that you're holding on to. Because the demand for those CSR is increasing. And as I said, there is absolutely no limit on how high the market value of the CSR token, the plastic credit, can grow into. As an influencer, you also have the amazing opportunity to earn your income from recommending this concept to others. And on top of every euro that you earn as a commission, you also earn more CSR plastic credits. At the moment, it's still 1-to-1. But I'm going to make an announcement today that at the end of the year, starting from the 1st of January, it will no longer remain as 1-to-1. We are going to start to slowly reduce the bonus CSR plastic credits given as a commission. This means that until the end of the year, you as an influencer have the opportunity of your life to earn CSR plastic credits for free, just by doing the work that you would be doing normally and earning your euro commissions on. You're also earning CSR, which you can later on sell, you can use it as a payment method, or you can hold on to it and hold it as your asset, as your fortune for the future. But please, take use of this last remaining 2 months. Tomorrow we are starting November. 2 more months, you as an influencer will be able to receive a matching amount of CSR compared to what you earn from the compensation plan until the end of the year. And then that will start to reduce step by step. At this very moment, anyone buying a plastic neutrality package will be able to receive the CSR plastic credit for a discounted special rate of only 2 cents per credit. On the 1st of January, we are also going to increase the price of that. It will no longer be sold for 2 cents. We're going to make another announcement about that later, but that will definitely happen. So that means that the price of the credit will increase. I want to explain you guys why, and it's good that you know this. Obviously, we are not the only plastic credit out there. There are others as well. But we are the only one where we as a company are collecting the plastic waste from the environment. We are processing the plastic waste into raw material. We are then recycling that plastic waste into oil, which is the most environmentally friendly way of processing this plastic, and then also are issuing the CSR plastic credit. There was just an article, I want to share this with you. There was just an article in the Reuters magazine or newspaper or website, let's say like that, where they talk about how big brands are now starting to get on board of this plastic waste recycling. But because there has been so very few limited options, right now today, the best option they have been able to do is to send that plastic into a cement factory where the plastic is being burned as a raw material to make heat. This is the most insane, stupid thing that you could do. And as it said here in the article, what very much is happening, let me read from you guys here. Critics say it undercuts recycling efforts and worsens air quality. One critic said that it's like moving the landfill from the ground and just throwing it up in the sky. But this shows that there is really a need for this. And if you look at the other plastic credit operations out there, there are a few. Most of them, unfortunately, are processing a concept, a system where the plastic is never being properly recycled. It's only burned in the cement factories. And that is, I believe that they are going to ban this by laws. This is nothing to do with recycling. If you would think about the different options of how you could use plastic waste, the worst option is that the plastic goes into the ocean. If you go as a scale, let's say that the most worst option is the plastic goes into the ocean. Even a little bit better option is that the plastic is in the landfill. At least it's not in the ocean. It's in a controlled environment. Still a very, very bad situation in the landfills. The second, or again, going up, and so the worst is on the oceans, a little bit less worse in the landfill, a little bit less worse would be that this plastic would be now burned in a cement factory, for example, just burned without any recycling, just to make heat. The next option would be, a little bit better option would be that it would be burned to make electricity. At least there is some use that comes into the community from it. But that has nothing to do with recycling. A little bit better option would be that the plastic would be made into fuels, more environmentally friendlier gasoline, diesel, and so on. But again, not really proper way of recycling. Better than any of the other options, but not the best solution. The best solution above all of these other options is that the plastic is made into new plastic products. Exactly like it's done with glass, with metal, and with paper. And that is the industry, that is the revolution, that is the movement where we are. And that's why the CSR plastic credit, when it's proven that this plastic is not burned, this plastic is not going into the environment or into the air. Instead, this plastic is made into new plastic products, creating huge, massive CO2 reductions when new oil don't need to be brought up to the surface of the planet, but instead we can use the old plastic that we already have here. And that also means that you are going to start to see the CSR plastic credit become even more valuable than the other credits out there. But there will definitely be other credits as well. Exactly like there are many different carbon credits as well. But how the credit is being created is extremely important, and that is exactly where CSR wants to be in the forefront. We want to be the leader in this revolution. Now, going back to the price increase, there are a few other projects who are also selling their credit, where unfortunately the plastic ends into being burdened in the cement factories. And those companies are currently selling their credits with a market price between 40 and $50 per kilo. We are selling CSR and our plastic waste reduction service 20 cents a kilo. CSR sold at 20 cents a kilo, where the others, which are causing damage to the environment, are selling theirs for 40 to 50 cents a kilo. So what we are going to be doing is we're going to go into a process where the price of the CSR that is being sold at a discount by the company is going to slowly going to be increasing. Right now it's 2 cents per CSR token, or 20 cents a kilo. But we are going to be beginning a process where we are slowly, step by step, going to increase it. First going from 2 cents to 2.2 cents, then 2.4 cents, 2.6, and little by little, we are going to increase it to become same as the market price otherwise would be. This also means that the first time we're going to increase the price is going to take place on the 1st of January, 2 months from now. That means that the bottom price, the base price of the CSR will never, ever again be offered for 2 cents. Why would we? The other credits are selling theirs for 4 and 5 cents if you do the same calculation. So this means that until the end of the year, both the customer who wants to buy the CSR plastic credits will be able to get them at a super amazing discount, while you as an influencer will be able to receive 100% matching amount of CSR for free than what you earn as your commissions. Both of these will start to slowly be reduced starting from January 1st. And then every 3 months, we're going to be changing that ratio. So that really means the following. Please take advantage, take use of this time of next 2 months to really build your business and earn as many CSR for free, while obviously earning commissions, and also provide this opportunity for your friends, for your communities, where they can now enter and acquire the CSR at this super discounted rate, because this is not going to stay for long. Now, one more thing I wanted to show you. If you give me 1 second here. I wanted to share with you. No, let's save that. Let's leave something for that. Let's leave something for the next couple of days. I think we've covered a good amount of information here today. Now, what we've covered today is a revolution that is taking place globally in regards of the plastic waste. How for the first time ever, companies around the world are now beginning to take responsibility of their plastic waste garbage. And you as an influencer can be the introducer to show them how they are able to reduce their plastic waste footprint or to become completely plastic neutral. So make a list of companies and businesses in your area, in your community, and talk to your sponsor, talk to the people in your organization, the people that are helping you in this business, how we should connect the CSR plastic credit with those businesses. and with those companies. And while we're doing that, we must take, number one, ourselves responsibility and remove our own plastic waste footprint. Even if you would do it 1 kilo a month, commit yourself into a longer term plan where over the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years, you become plastic neutral yourself as well. By every month retiring an amount of CSR plastic credits. And we are going to share the process, how this works. It's very simple, and all of you will be able to do that very easily. But it's very important that we ourselves start doing that process, and then we bring our friends, our families, our communities, the people that you love, the people that you care about, to do the same. And then we introduce the concept to the businesses around the world. Number two, we spoke about plastic production and how the how the Corsair oil has now been verified, has been proved that it is suitable for plastic manufacturing, and how the world is moving to a direction where, by law, companies all over the world are being forced to use our kind of oil as a raw material for the manufacturing of the new plastic products. Then we spoke about the plastic digitalization and how important role CSR plastic credit has in this game. And we can say already today that with everything that we have in place, we are becoming the leading plastic credit in the world. And we will take that leading position officially in the next coming months. And we all together are part of that mission. This is such an amazing moment, such an amazing timing, where you can build your own financial future and your independence, not only for you, but for your coming future generations. Guys, if we do this thing now right, none of your children and their children have to work ever in their lives again. That's how huge, big opportunity we have right now. And this is going to happen. There's no way of stopping it anymore. Let me repeat that. There is no way of stopping it anymore. It's not that it's going to happen, or maybe it's going to happen, or if it's going to happen. There is no way of stopping it anymore. That's it. And the people that are involved in developing this company with us, developing this mission with us, and working with us, continuously pushing this business and this concept and the community forward, are the people that are going to make ridiculous amounts of money from this. There are massive fortunes to be made now, guys. And we are not in this for a quick money. We're not going to be disappearing in 1 year. No, we have absolutely no interest on quick benefits or quick money or quick bonus or do something and disappear. No. We are in this to build a community with massive fortunes, build a company worth billions and billions of euros, and build a digital currency, CSR, to become one of the top 10 digital currencies in the world. Different than 99.9% of all the other crypto bullshit that you can see out there. Based on the fact that we are 100% backed up by real physical results, and we are soon going to be used by some of the largest organizations, brands, and companies around the world. And I hope that you take good care of your CSR. And I hope that you won't become one of those guys who today are walking around in a landfill trying to find their own old computer to find the 2,000 Bitcoins that they used to have in some hard drive, some computer, and they threw it away because they didn't see the value in it. Don't be that guy, all right? Treat your CSR plastic credits with respect, because there are other people that are looking to do that as well. They are worth money and they are increasing in value. And what we are going to do in the next couple of months is going to be such a revolutionary thing around the world. And on top of the fact that there are going to be multimillionaires created within this community all over the world, the people that have been working and pushing this forward, earning active income, earning passive income from their network, increasing their ownership, their holding of the CSR, and when that value increases, and on top of that, earning shares and ownerships in the entire Corsair company. There's going to be people in this group that are going to make ridiculous amounts of money. And what's the best part? The best part is that we made that money by helping others. There's a great saying, is that it's not about the dollar. It's about how do you make that dollar. When we are reaching into the levels of those fortunes, and you have made success in your life financially, built a fortune that you can leave for the future generations, it is so important that you can look at what you did and look into your heart and say that we didn't steal anybody's money. We didn't scam anybody. We didn't take the money from someone else. No. Instead, we made our fortunes by cleaning this planet from this plastic waste pollution. And as a result of that, we left a healthier, safer, and greener planet for these future generations. And that is how we earned our fortunes. Guys, I've taken an hour of your time on Sunday, and I want to thank you all very much for coming into this call today. I'm going to hand over the microphone for Renee, who is going to share with you a few more thoughts before we wrap this up together with Krista. And I want to thank you all one more time to be involved in this amazing mission. We are just getting started. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jay. And it was amazing call and amazing updates. And yeah, when you look now and the situation we are now and the opportunity we have, it's everything, every piece of the puzzle came together as this moment. I will not take too long time today because I think you covered everything in this corporate update call as well. Roger, can you make Krista as a co-host, please? So I want to introduce Krista Kaspers from the Netherlands. She is also with her team responsible for the first merchant in the Netherlands. And I think it's also a good idea to share her experience, how she has invited this merchant in this area, and share the experience so that a lot of people can learn how she has done that, and so that you can do the same and as a part of the CSR merchants. So Krista, stage is yours.
Thank you, Renee. And thank you also on my behalf, Jay. Wow, what an amazing story and announcements to come. So let me begin by introducing myself. My name is Krista Kaspers. I'm in the Dutch team, Belgian team, Caribbean team of Amplivo. I was introduced by Renee in 2019. And when we had the first presentation in Holland, so then immediately I became really enthusiastic to become a influencer in this concept. And we were immediately going to give live presentations in the Netherlands, Belgium, Caribbean. And in the meantime, I'm one of the lucky people to have been to Thailand 2 times to see everything and to meet everybody from the project. So before I talk about the steps that have been taken to make, that we have been taken to make Blonde and Brown plastic neutral, I want to start with a short story to show how things were going to working together as a team. Because it's not a one woman or a one man show, you do it as a team. So when I started to tell everybody about this beautiful project, because I wanted everybody to know, not everybody was excited to participate, but they, for me, it was important for everybody to know what I was doing. So also a friend of mine, she was not excited to join the company, to join the project, but she was always interested. And one day she came to me and she said, you know what, I think I have to introduce you to Aak. I think you have to talk to him because he's so really enthusiastic guy. And he's always committed to clean up the planet, and he's always open for new stories and new possibilities. So sooner said than done, our first meeting was a fact, and we met on the beach for the first time. So Aak, and I want to give him a little bit stage today because of Aak, this whole project started with Blonde and Brown. So Aak, he was almost retired at that time, and he was immediately really enthusiastic about this idea. He had really great ideas of inviting companies. He knows a lot of people, and he talks to everybody. But on the other side, he had nothing to do his whole life with technology, and he didn't really like the digital world. So now, just because before he goes to retirement, he comes in contact with the cryptos and the plastic, as he says, and he really enjoys it. And by now he's trading his own cryptos. So Aak is talking to everybody, and also he lives near to the Mall of the Netherlands, and he goes there every day for a small round. And he visits the juice bar, gets a juice and a ginger shot every day, and he starts a conversation with the company about all the amount of plastic that they use every day. After a while, he talks about the great solution there is to get rid of all the plastic waste in the world, and about the plastic token that is linked to this. And almost every day he's there. They even called him the plastic guy. So I tell the story to show that building a relationship with your prospect is very important. Building trust, showing your face, connection. Yes, of course, there are people with a good sales background who close a deal within a few meetings. But believe me, the most of us, we first have to build a relationship with our prospect. So Aak, he sometimes fantasize about how cool it would be that the boys, as he calls Jasper and Ollie from the Blonde and Brown company, to join as a company. But there wasn't really a good opportunity as there is now for a company to join. So patience was needed. Timing was important. You don't have to go too fast, but keep talking, keep in contact. So after a few months of talking, there was a promotion regarding to the CSR. And then Aak got really enthusiastic, and he took the boys with him. So then Aak made a connection with the boys and me to get everything settled for the CSR. Of course, this was at the end of the promotion. We had to do everything really quickly, and one of them was in Ibiza and the other one was working. but we made it possible as a team. But there was a connection made. It was not only Aak, he used me as his upline as his team member to do this together. He makes the connection. I give them some more information, some details about the CSR and how everything works. But still in the back of our minds, we had, okay, there comes a moment when we're going to see this company being plastic neutral, because we know that there were going to come possibilities to do this. So as Aak was dropping by every day, taking his ginger shot, Jay comes with the story about the opportunity for companies to join the company and the plastic credits and the possibility for merchants. So we discussed this as a team and decided how to make Blond and Brown plastic neutral. We decided to invite Blond and Brown, Jasper and Olle, at René's house to discuss the possibilities for the company. It was the first time that we were going to register a company, so it was important that we shared this with them too. What are we going to do? What are we encountering? How are we going to tackle this? How do we calculate the costs? All nice topics for an open conversation. So the guys, they were really enthusiastic, and they really have a good vision for the future, and they really know it's really necessary for the planet to get rid of all this plastic. So they really wanted to go in this project with us. So they don't have a lot of time. They're busy opening new bars. They're really ambitious. They want to make a franchise. But so we had to take a lot of administration be done for them. So first step was to calculate how many kilograms of plastic they consume every month or every year. And then when they're done, we had to calculate which kind of package we had to buy in the Amplivo network. So almost everything done. And then came the announcement of CSR Now. And this platform was opened. So we could immediately try out this new website, how it's working. So that's always a good thing to find out for the first time. So in the meantime, Aak was still drinking his ginger shots. I did some administration together with the boys, and René was thinking about the script for the film, because how cool would it be to announce Blond and Brown as the first company? We were just going to do it. Nobody done it. So action, as René always said, and we will see what happens. So we spent a few hours filming. Take 1, take 2, take 3. You can imagine how it goes. But we had a lot of fun doing this. It's so cool to do this as a team. And it's really, really amazing if everything goes in a flow. So René needed a few more hours to put everything together as a film and send it to Corsair, Jay and Corsair team. So thank you, Jay and the Corsair team, also for your enthusiasm to introduce this company. So I'm really proud. We did a lot of work together, but especially to see what is possible if you put your mind to it. Just come in action and do the work, then you can put it together in 24 hours. So what I wanted to say is that we have a really big opportunity here in our hands as Amplivo influencers. A company can now buy the plastic credits the cheapest way through you. How fantastic is that? It's gold we have in our hands. So There are a few more steps that we as a team have to be doing for the company. They're going to be a merchant. They have to get their plastic neutral certificate, and we have to burn the credits. And not everything is ready. Not everything is perfect and in place, but take your first step, go in there, because as I told you, building the relationship takes the most of the time. To put together all the administration things and everything you want to do is only 24 hours that you need. But building the relationship is the most important part of everything. So it's all about few steps: connection, 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 building trust, showing your face, creating a bond. Think for yourself, okay, who do I know already? Who owns a company? Are there companies that are already aware of the waste problem, for example, or are they working on ecological basis? Yeah, do it together with your team. Everybody has a part in this process. One is inviting, one is helping to give information, do some administration. One is doing the contact with the company, with Corsair. So you do it together. Take the company by the hand. Don't let them swim. Do it together. Show them their way on CSR Now. And the best part of all, have fun while doing it. Do it together and celebrate your victories. So thank you, Aak. I always love to work together with you. Blonde and Brown for pioneering with us, and of course Jay and Corsair for the announcement of this company. And Renee, thank you very much for your help and possibilities and always being there for the team. So thank you.
So thank you very much, Krista, for sharing your experience as well. And we're running out of time now. So back over to maybe Jay or Roger, who has the last word. Roger.
Okay, no, thank you very much. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Jay, Renee, Krista. Superb news. You know, the Blonde and Brown, the first, they were absolutely fantastic news. The only thing I wanted to cover, really, there was one thing in the chat there. Someone was asking about certain countries that, you know, maybe we're not operating in just yet. All I say is just be patient. Be patient. It'll come. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. Jay, if you're finished, I'm finished. Job done. We're an hour and 18 minutes in, so we'll do it as a whole recording. But fantastic. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you again next week.
Great. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.